Podcast starts now. What is up, everyone around the world, and welcome to StraightioLab. We have been teasing starting this podcast for over 15 minutes, and now guess what? We are giving that sweet release of actually starting the podcast. George, how are you?
The technology required to record what we're doing now was invented pretty much 2 days ago. There are two of us in Times Square. There is one person at home in Los Angeles while fires are raging around him, and there is another person at home in Brooklyn while baristas are raging around him.
And so we have somehow managed to come together despite all the odds and despite the world crumbling to record a podcast. And it's actually our first recording of the year, which is kind of crazy.
It is. It's our first recording of the year, so I just want to say Happy New Year. So far, it is not a great one, but there is still hope.
Yeah, I got to say, we did start off on a weird note.
Yeah, totally. I'm like, so far, I do want to say, so far, there has been not a single good thing that has happened this year.
I've been getting amazing sleep.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Good for you.
So that's one thing. George, say something positive about your year so far.
Okay, see, that's the thing. What I was going to say is actually a huge negative. I had an experience that was so shocking, and I'm actually going to say it now, and then later when we bring in our guests, maybe we can discuss it a little bit more. I was passing by the Harry Potter store in New York City, and I said, wouldn't it be funny to go in, find something stupid, take a photo of it?
Honey, I'm laughing.
You got a viral meme right there. You know what I mean? I had a little time to kill. I said, I'm going to find a Hufflepuff merch. I'm going to see some, out of towners shopping for ginger beer. Wait, no, ginger beer is the one that exists. What is the other one called?
Butterbeer?
Butterbeer. And I said, this will be funny. This will be just sort of like a funny thing that I do. I went in. I'm about to say something shocking. Within 45 seconds, the nostalgia got me to such an extent that I was literally like, put the sorting hat on me. I'm ready to enter Hogwarts.
My God.
I was shocked. So as someone who, obviously I am marching against J.K. Rowling daily. I would say I do a women's march by myself against J.K. Rowling every morning when I wake up. I don't have nostalgia for Harry Potter. I read the books when I was a kid, have not had any desire to revisit them. I also hate all toxic nostalgia culture. I hate BuzzFeed. 90s kids will remember this. I don't get, emotional when I think of Nick at Night. And yet, I'm telling you, within seconds of walking in, I was ready to buy a head-to-toe Gryffindor merch. And I want to know what your read on that is.
I mean, I obviously relate. I think how I treat Harry Potter is I actually just don't think about it as hard as I can because I know that if I do, I will enjoy it. If I watch a film, I'll be like, well, might as well watch all of them. Like they were on sort of in the background of my holidays. And I was like, I would walk into the room and see it and be like, oh my God, this is actually more fun than I remember. And I was like, no, don't get pulled in. Don't get pulled in.
That's what's hard about it.
It's so tough. And I even I just think, my answer is unfortunately always the government stepping in, but I think it should become a public service. It should just, as long as she's not attached, we can still have it.
No, you're right. You're right.
We need... We need, George, what I would say is obviously ironic, but run with me.
Yeah.
George, we need a minister of magic in our government, and they need to be in charge of the Harry Potter franchise.
No, actually, I would say the minister of magic has to be in charge specifically of separating the art from the artist in the way that we separate church and state. That's like it's the government's responsibility to separate church and state.
Of course.
I know that's not exactly it, but shut up.
Yeah, who cares?
It's the government's responsibility to separate church and state. Every time church and state are suspected of intermingling, someone is, it goes up to the Supreme Court. That needs to happen. As soon as someone creates art, it needs to be separated from them, and the authorship needs to be independent of the author.
I do think if your art makes $1 billion, it's like, it's not yours anymore. Like, it's not yours at all.
Right, exactly.
Like, it is now.
I don't know.
It's public domain.
I don't know who wrote Jingle Bells.
No one.
Probably someone who doesn't have great politics. But you better believe I'm going to be shaking my booty to that every year.
I could not agree more. I think
I'm obsessed with us silencing two trans people while talking about J.K. Rowling.
I have to say it's one of the funnier things we've ever done. And I think you kicking it off that way.
Outing me is crazy. Yeah, I'm like,
I'm literally like stealth icon, honey Pluton. That's crazy, George. That's crazy. Okay, my coming out story
let's
is
bring them
happening
in. Let's
today.
bring them in.
Wow.
and you're acting like I'm also not magic.
Well, of course, that's intersectionality, is that you're both trans and magic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And actually,
okay, stop. It's like you already made a barista joke. Have you ever been into a coffee shop? They're selling trans are magic shirts.
Yeah.
Arial font italics. It's right there.
Well, I'm not magic like that. I'm magic like making shit move around and like fighting.
you're not magic
Spike is
like
a
queer joy.
poltergeist.
No, I'm not.
You're not queer joy.
Famously, if you ever see me spouting that I'm releasing my trans joy, it means that I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah. You've been possessed.
Trans boy joy.
You've been
kind of
possessed by RuPaul.
My blink twice is I'm radiating trans joy, basically.
If you see Spike radiating trans joy, call the police.
Call the cops.
Yeah.
No, literally.
Okay, so please welcome Honey Pluton and Spike Einbinder. Hi.
Hi.
So you kind of,
Yeah, so what's up?
I mean,
What do you think of my story?
you're Slytherin.
I'm literally being Slytherin, yeah.
You're being Slytherin.
I've
and-
never read the book.
Are you afraid? Are you afraid you'll fall in
I will
love?
say, Spike, you are giving Slytherin with your current look.
I don't like
Speak to
that.
Honey doesn't like it.
So
I
Honey
don't
hasn't
do
read the
all
books. Spike, have you read the books?
I read the books. I waited in line to get J.K. Rowling's autograph when I was a child.
Wow.
At a book release in L.A. where I'm from. And
Shout out.
I'm just outing myself in all ways. From LA, loved Harry Potter as a child, met J.K. Rowling.
Zero trans
She
joy.
complimented my hair.
Wow.
She complimented my hair in a way that when I talk to my mom about possibly cutting it off to this day, she cites J.K. Rowling complimenting. Like, I can't get away from this transphobic woman.
Wow.
It's like in my DNA.
Do you feel like you haven't cut your hair because of J.K. Rowling?
Well, I'm waiting till it gets long enough to fashion it into like a flail, like a medieval weapon, so I can.
I
Well,
see.
let's keep like I can't say that on air, but
I feel like you should make it into a little like braid tie that you
Yeah.
wear with a
Oh,
sort
that's a
of
fun idea.
buttoned up.
so don't
shirt.
attach like a medieval weapon to it and go.
Okay, it's almost transphobic that you told Spike to make his hair into a bolo tie.
Excuse me.
So we're at the meter is up to 2. We're at 2 instances. 3 if you want to count shutting us both out as one individual.
Of course,
instance.
yeah,
Because you
that's
can't
true.
lumping us in would be the 4th incident. So let's just
Yeah,
not
it
do
would be
that.
like you're absolutely right. So lumping you together
as silencing us as one.
as one,
That's the 4th
as though
incident.
you both have the same politics, the same opinions.
We're just 2 guys.
Where
it.
would you
Just
say
like
that your
you.
politics differ the most?
Yeah, where would you say your
Oh.
politics differ the most?
I think I'm a little bit more libertarian than Spike is.
Really?
Okay,
And
go
what does that
all the
make
way
me?
up.
And what does that make me?
I mean, I'm gonna let you speak for yourself, but yeah.
But so
You're
but
like
honey,
full.
so-
You're communist. Spike is
Yes.
communist, and Honey is sort of Ayn Rand.
you want to like buy some
I'm-
land and like buy a gun and live like alone.
Yes, I was going to say I'm socialist communist, but with gun.
Oh, you
And then
are with gun,
yeah.
Right.
So maybe
We're
gun is
both-
where you overlap.
Yeah, we're both in the Venn diagram. Guns is where we're sort of like carrying together.
Got it. Okay,
He's
this
more
explains the
socialist
medieval
communist.
hair.
I'm more communist anarchist. So we do both have guns.
I'm seeing it.
see.
I'm
Sure.
seeing
So
it.
that's why I'm like, why would you say you're libertarian?
Because it rolls off the tongue. You know, it's an
Okay.
easier
And that is
entry point.
anarchist to be doing.
Yeah.
that.
Okay, here's a
Exactly.
question. How do you feel about like a full-blown adult tenured professor being like, I'm an anarchist?
Wait,
That's a great question.
On the,
Let's
I
see that browser
think,
history, and we'll be the.
You know what I mean?
No, totally. This is such a smart point.
I'm like, hello? No, you're
You're
not.
like the
Are you
king of
talking
being an
about me
institution.
being
no, not you.
the professor of the dark arts?
Well, first of all, as established, you're not an anarchist. You're a gun-toting.
Hey, we can. I'm. Yes, don't worry about it.
Okay, so, but you know what I mean.
I think that's okay to do, to be honest, because ideologies are actions for sure, but anarchy is also something to be taught and understood. And so if you're part of a lineage of
I see.
explaining that process to other people, then maybe you will have your pupils incite the revolution.
It's like
Don't you
It's like
think
how
it-
I can
I
say
think
I'm
that-
anti-capitalist and be like, but I really want a nice watch.
Totally. That's exactly what it's like. Yeah, I do think sometimes people, myself included, get very frustrated at the at that distinction that like there is a type of person in the public imagination that is a practicing anarchist, and then there is someone who is like in the theoretical tradition of anarchy and is reading books and doing workshops.
I think
it's annoying when people assimilate, for sure.
But I think they're the same person because people assume that anarchy is like we're burning.
Yes.
Hashtag little fire.
Doing the A on a building, like doing the A on a
V
building.
for Vendetta mask.
Why are you not Banksy?
Maybe he could be Banksy.
I know.
We
I'm
don't
like,
know who
I'm
Banky
like,
really
not
is.
Wait, Spike actually could be Banksy.
He's nervous.
Wait.
He could be Banksy. You have no idea.
Cut the camera, seriously. Wait,
Yeah, I'm really bad at art, so it's really it's like very.
we never found out who Banksy is?
It's Spike.
My ideas are like it's like a girl and she's in black and white and she's holding a red balloon and there's like a guy in a gas mask pointing a gun at her. It's
God,
like, what's
that is
not
so
to get?
you.
So
What's
powerful.
Not to get?
Spike, what's your next piece?
Okay, so get this. It's like a rat. He's in a suit. He's got a briefcase and he's going into the White House.
Wow.
Spike, you are a genius.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Just call me Banksy.
If we can find a way to disseminate that imagery, the Trump administration is
would
toast.
crumble.
That Cheeto will be straight in the trash can.
So I love Banksy Fever was actually so funny because it was like, okay, this is crazy. He did this in like a park. Like anyone's allowed to look at this. And the hype around that, when we're zoomed out a bit, I was like, what was wrong with all of us? Why was that like so enthralling?
Totally. I mean, it goes back to me, one of well, first of all, of course, it goes back to Harry Potter.
It actually
because that
is very Harry Potter.
He is very Harry Potter. Wait, what house would he be in?
Banksy?
Ravenclaw.
What Harry Potter house would Banksy be
Banksy's a Ravenclaw.
Okay, Banksy's a Ravenclaw. That is absolutely correct. Okay, here's a question that I struggle with.
We have to stop.
No, this is not Harry Potter. This is not Harry Potter. This is a question I struggle with. Think of like super cliche mass market art. Okay, think of like
Live, Laugh, Love? Or like
no, like
Like Campbell Soup?
yeah,
Andy
like
Warhol?
Warhol pop art, or like
The balloon dog.
literally
culture.
what is I'm like completely blanking. Who's the guy that did like, the art pop cover?
Koons?
Oh, Jeff Koons?
Jeff Koons,
Yeah.
thank you.
Isn't that the balloon dog sculpture?
Yes.
Jeff Koons.
Okay,
Yes,
so-
yes. Sorry, again, silence. Jeff Koons, Banksy, Cause. Okay, think all these things. Like, if you're in the art world, obviously you're like, they're complete hacks, right? So here's the question. The question becomes: are people like that negative forces on the world because they are such terrible artists and because that's the only art some people see? Or are they positive forces in the world because they're an entry point for people to discover better art? It's like you discover Andy Warhol and the Marylands, and then through that maybe you see, oh, there's an Andy Warhol retrospective at MoMA. I'm going to go. Then I'm going to see some better art.
Next thing you know, you're like, I love Piss Christ.
Literally, yes.
I think
Okay, my dad is a pop art addict.
Okay.
He can't get enough of the stuff.
Yeah.
He is WhatsApping me chronically pictures, I'm assuming he's pulling from Pinterest, that are like marble busts of like naked women, but she has like a Japanese traditional sleeve. And he's sending this to me, and he's like, very beautiful, very nice touches. Like, he is so moved by Banky. Like, nothing makes my father believe that he is on the precipice of an entire new world, that like the age of Aquarius is at his fingertips. But like when he sees like graffiti of like an NFT ape like flushing a bunch of cheeseburgers in a toilet, he's like, finally, I'm alive. Like, it's like he's seeing
That's
Gigi
really
Allen.
scary.
Like, he
I'm so
can't
sorry.
fucking get a grip.
Wow.
So understanding that he believes that the revolution is present in an NFT of
Art
like
Basel, Miami.
exactly, like at Art Basel, of like a Pop-Tart cat that's
like his
like dropping a
anarchist
nuke
conference.
on North Korea or something like that makes him go fucking ballistic. But he has really bad taste that only informs a future that he wants, that I'm really scared of.
Oh.
So I think it's the first. I think it's
Okay,
just
you think
that.
they're
I think
just
it's
a net
I
negative.
agree.
Yeah.
But honey, did you say Banky?
That's the name he was
NFT
born
name.
with. Yeah, that's
Yes.
the NFT name.
That's the NFT name.
So I think it's
I agree with you. I actually think it's bad. I think it's like cynical and almost tricks people into thinking they like art and gives them like, it's like not giving them actual sustenance. So they're like, oh, I'm full, but they aren't fulfilled. And if that didn't exist, they would actually have to seek out things that they would actually like.
It's kind of like George Bush being a painter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well,
It's like he could never be cause, but he's definitely.
Okay, who's more talented, Cause or George Bush?
See, that's the thing. It's
That's
like
I
when
think
you're-
it's George
I would say George
I
Bush.
think George Bush
Bush.
is outsider art. Actually,
I completely agree. You don't see him in museums.
no, he's on the fringe.
They should put him on the Outsider
It's
Art
like
Festival.
him, Daniel Johnston.
Yeah.
like they're the same guy, basically.
No, but I do agree with what you guys are saying, and it's like saying fast food is like a way into health bowls. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
What's
but
Chipotle then? I raised you
kind
Chipotle.
of.
Oh, that's a good point.
And checkmate
I actually
Chipotle.
kind of.
So we need to find the art. Okay, here's the thing. We need to find populist art that is the sort of Chipotle Cava of art, rather than the McDonald's Wendy's.
That's a great point. Chipotle was fully my way into food with flavors.
Yeah.
I feel like it's against his will and posthumous legacy, Keith Haring.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like they took that and now that they have control over it, they made it Chipotle.
That's true.
The Chipotle
Yeah,
bag
I'm very
is Keith
curious
Haring.
who runs Keith Haring's estate because I'm
Yeah.
like, why is he on yogurt? Like it's so.
Are you kidding me? He's basically like a branch of Uniqlo at this
Yeah.
point.
No,
there's I
freaky.
read the Keith Haring estate is like one of the most. At one point, I read it's like they are money makers.
Yes.
but I actually think Keith Haring is a great example of someone who, like, if handled correctly, could have been the Chipotle Cava, but instead became McDonald's.
Yeah.
Wow. No, you're right. I think that's really smart.
Yeah,
I wish
I'm like, who is the Chipotle Cava?
well, unfortunately, I don't know enough about art to sort of say who the Chipotle Cava is, I feel.
No, but that's
mean-
the thing. If it first of all, I
Basquiat?
think. Yes,
Oh.
I think Basquiat is
It's
Chipotle
Basquiat.
Cava. Yeah.
Basquiat is Chipotle Cava because I was at the gym yesterday and I saw this guy, really kind of like flinging himself around, really just kind of like twirling the dumbbells in like somewhat aerobic ways, but I'm really worried about like his lower back. And he had a giant Basquiat crown tattoo
Yeah.
right here on his arm. So I think that he's the
The
Chipotle
only place
Cava.
I've ever seen it. Like,
Yeah.
that's where that tattoo goes.
That's
on
where it
every person
goes.
who has it.
I
Wait, do you think Jenny Holzer is Chipotle Cava?
Well,
or
I was gonna say if
Yes.
we want to go literary, it's like Rupi Kaur.
oh.
okay?
No. She's way worse.
She's yeah.
Way worse. It's like she is like the Chipotle bag, but like in little.
Oh,
bite
you're
size.
right, you're right.
I'm thinking about the bag. Like that's where they talk their talk.
Oh no, I'm thinking about the sensation of actually like being at the Chipotle, like deciding if you want guac or not. Like, do you get it as a burrito or a bowl?
Yes, exactly. And I think it's like
And that's the Basquiat.
also it's a
Exactly.
sense of possibility. It's like when I look at a work by Basquiat, it doesn't matter if it's quite literally inside of a top man. I still feel a sense of hope. I'm like, this is. I'm getting something out of this, out of this decontextualized line. drawing.
I would
Whereas
say the
with Rupi
other
Kaur-
example would be Just Kids. That would be like the literary.
Oh, you're
sure,
right.
sure.
You're right.
Totally.
You're right. Is
Yeah, 'cause-
Mapplethorpe on his own as a photographer Chipotle Cava or
He's
no?
H&M.
He's
He is the new H&M black and white ad
he could be
campaign.
urban as well,
Yeah.
Urban Outfitters.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
The thing with the Chipotle Cava example is that I do think it's a false. Like they are actually very different. Like there's actually many
What's
people
Cava,
that don't know
guys?
Kava.
Kava is Mediterranean bowls.
See,
right?
Kava's still niche. Kava is some other artist.
I don't know.
Oh,
I
see.
don't know what Kava
You're absolutely
is.
right, Sam. You're absolutely right. Okay, so Chipotle is sort of that girl in the sense that Chipotle is the only thing that is both that transcends high and low.
Yeah, it's like populist and it's like kind of a way in.
yeah, and it's basically health food. It's health food that is unhealthy.
But Kava is something else. Like
Kava's like sweet green.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Kava is sweet green, and they're both sort of more Caroline Polachek.
Yeah.
Whereas Chipotle is Charlie XCX.
Yeah.
Or is it?
No, Chipotle is like jelly
Addison
roll or
Rae?
something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Chipotle is jelly roll. You're absolutely right.
Chipotle is jelly roll, babe.
Yeah.
I don't know a single Jelly Roll song, but the Jelly Roll like vibe, I think is so funny.
It's
I can't tell if
awesome.
anyone
I love Jelly Roll.
likes the music or it's just like this guy's kind of funny that he's like he's
No,
out and about.
Chipotle is like Jelly Roll, Post Malone, Machine Gun Kelly.
Wow.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
the
rolling
tour-
up on your
tour bus
ATV.
meal.
You're
Yeah.
actively
Chipotle-
fighting. You're actively fighting with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Who it's like men who go to Chipotle are fighting with their girlfriends because their girlfriends think that she's being cheated on because she had a dream about it.
Yeah.
Like
And he
that's
likes
what's
a lot of
happening in line at
Instagram models'
Chipotle.
pics.
100%. And by the way, Chipotle is a man who is a fuckboy, and Cava is an alt girl who takes pictures of dead birds.
Yeah.
And they are dating, and you're like, wow, how did he land this like hot alt chick? And it's like, because bitch, he's Chipotle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and deep down, she's a little Republican. Like,
Yeah.
Well, she barely knows what Republican means, but yes, she will end up voting Republican.
Yeah. She's like a Hillary stan.
yeah.
Totally.
But she has that edge of looking at roadkill.
She's
Yeah.
edgy Hillary Stan roadkill.
Damn.
Wow.
Well, now that we've absolutely left no stone unturned.
I mean, that was one of the most intellectually dense discussions I've ever had in my life, I would say.
That was actually like, that was kind of scary. That was like, I felt like I was falling, but like getting caught at every moment. Like I was
Yeah.
falling, but taken care of. Like the clouds were little pillows that I could land on.
Okay.
It was
New
definitely
Banksy drawing.
Bret
Yeah, I
Type
was
write
like-
that down.
Yeah.
Little pillow clouds.
Falling but being taken care of. It's
Someone-
just like
someone with
this
tattoos
cup
falling.
suddenly is emblazoned with that phrase.
Wait, I thought of a new Banksy.
Oh, perfect.
Big Trump head.
Yeah.
Someone pinching it with a little needle. It pops like a balloon.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is
that's good.
so good.
Or he's like that
New
top of a hot air
Banksy.
balloon.
New Banksy alert.
Okay.
the elephant and the donkey Frenching.
Oh, yes.
Because guess what? They're all the same.
They're all the fucking
Oh, wait.
same.
New Banksy, Lady Liberty, and she's trying to go to Planned Parenthood. She's so pregnant. And Goofy from Disneyland is the father.
Whoa. Okay. New
That's
Banksy.
good.
New Banksy. An atomic bomb is falling on the United States of America, and it's money.
Oh my God.
Oh. It has a huge price tag on it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, New Banksy. Two guys in medieval gear are fighting, but instead of swords, it's giant cocks.
Oh. Or they're flowers.
Okay.
One is a flower and one is a cock.
One is a flower.
One is a flower, one is a cock.
New Banksy. Grimace is shooting up heroin. But the heroin is the stock market.
Yes.
Whoa!
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Okay. New Banksy. Okay, so it's the ocean, and there's like all these microplastics, and like there's like big cans of Coke and stuff, and a whale is drinking a Diet Pepsi.
Oh.
Okay.
My heart
new,
is racing so fucking fast.
New Banksy. Okay. It's a McDonald's, but everyone working inside and lining up to go inside are prisoners. But they're also all Mickey Mouses.
Whoa! That I can see going for over $5 million.
motherfucking drop.
And that's it. That's the one.
That's amazing.
I'm calling Uniqlo. That's going to be on every t-shirt.
You're gonna be
That
seeing
couple
teens
that
everywhere.
we mentioned before, the Chipotle Cava
Chipotle
couple,
Cava.
they reached for that t-shirt at UO at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And that's how they fall in love right there.
That is so sweet.
God.
And you know what? Chipotle introduced Cava to Banksy. He was like, this artist I really like, Banksy.
This underground
You should watch
artist.
Exit Through the Gift Shop.
Yeah.
It's a great documentary about Banksy.
And she's like, have you ever seen Crumb?
She's like, I love Harmony Korine.
Okay,
Me,
but
literally.
I'm like,
Me
she kind of
down.
ate with that. Like,
Me.
It's like, oh, so me in 2011.
I keep saying that 2026 is going to be our year. 2025.
Totally,
That's
totally.
right.
We have to wait it out.
That's right.
2025 Gummo, 2026 our year, baby. Spring Breakers.
Spring break.
I hope you're right. I don't know where Harmony Korine stands. I feel like that guy is probably like fucked up politically these days. Does anyone know the truth?
It's
I mean,
okay,
I
Sam. The
think
Minister of Magic
he's-
has separated the art from the artist.
Yes.
Oh, thank God. Thank you, Minister of Magic. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks to the Minister of Magic, I can listen to Swans again.
Thanks.
I think Harmony Korine is just doing like fuck boy post woke word salad.
I agree.
Where he's like crypto, Miami,
Yeah.
abortion,
He
trans.
literally, it's like his last movie was him like accidentally doing Command A, highlighting all and it inverting, and then him going, wait a second. Like, and then he made it the whole thing. Like when your computer goes grayscale for 1 second, you're like, oh fuck, how do I turn this
Wait,
off?
this is glitch art.
He was like, stop. We're doing this. Like that is just what happened.
Damn.
I love that.
And his child has a burgeoning jewelry business. Check it out.
Really?
Ooh.
Yes.
Well, speaking of avant-garde, should we do our first segment?
I think that's an amazing idea. Spike, honey, our first segment is called Straight Shooters, and in this segment, we're going to gauge your familiarity with and complicity in straight culture by asking you a series of rapid-fire questions. It's basically this thing or this other thing, and the only rule is you can't ask any follow-up questions, or we will scream so loud at you that they're going to make a damn Banksy about it.
Yeah, and also because there's two of you, you have to answer together.
Should we try to mind meld?
Yeah,
And
you
do
should
the
try to
same-
mind
say the same
meld.
thing?
Okay, Sam, go.
Okay, squad.
I'm tapping my third eye.
Russian nesting doll or touching your best friend Paul?
2, 3. Touching
Your best friend, Paul.
Okay, Ugg boots are back or a grassroots attack?
A
A grassroots attack.
Okay, the end of times or Amanda Bynes?
Ooh.
The end of times.
Running late or stunning 8?
Stunning eight.
Little Orphan Annie or Little Red Corvette?
Little Red
Corvette.
New Balance or Old Yeller?
Ooh.
Old Yeller.
Old Yeller.
Okay, new year, new me or new phone, who dis?
New phone. Who dis?
Virginia Woolf or Doja Cat? This is a tough one.
Virginia Woolf.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Good job, guys.
That was
amazing.
good. Oh my God. We
I
really
can't
tapped
believe
in.
that.
We are ready for tour.
You guys were really on the same page. That was amazing.
You know, I'm going to say, Sam, let's start off the year with 1,000 doves.
Wow. I love
Absolutely.
that. I think
I'm like, all right. I think this is our first 1,000 doves perfect score of the
Wow.
year. I just think we all need a win after everything we've been through.
yeah.
I
Thank
think you
you.
guys really took it seriously. You did a great job. You were able to communicate telepathically via Zoom.
We did
Yes.
lay me down like 1, 2, 3.
Totally.
Eyes roll back in ecstasy, of course.
Yeah.
Eyes roll back in ecstasy.
We were in a sense diseased.
Yes.
Yeah. So a perfect 1,000 doves, diseased. It was an incredible performance.
Wait, I actually, speaking of pop music, I have a game that I want to introduce. We don't have to play it right now, but I thought of this the other day. Instead of Fuck, Marry, Kill, it's Danielle Haim, SD Haim. Who's the other one?
Alana?
Alana Haim. So it's like there's 3 things, and you have to decide which one is the consummate professional, which one is the jester, and which one is the sort of ingenue / youthful one.
Okay, let's try it. How would you play it? Like 3
Okay,
like
let's see. Think of.
Okay, so like ketchup, mustard, relish.
Exactly. All right, ketchup, mustard, relish. What is the game called?
Heimlich.
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 I'm like,
And the way it works is you
Heimlich
go
maneuver.
ketchup, mustard, relish, Heimlich, and then the person has to do it.
Okay, and it's okay. I'm not familiar with the.
I know that's
I don't know the
I'll
other
tell you. I'll tell you.
I thought it was
So-
only know
names.
Alana.
All right, so here's the thing. Danielle Haim, all right? She is like the brains behind the operation. She's like so
Okay.
professional. She's so into production. She's like
She's like the Donald Rumsfeld.
totally, yeah. Then we have Alana. She's the ingenue. She's the young one. She's so silly. She's like doing a little wink. but also is able to like deliver a performance in a Paul Thomas Anderson film.
Okay.
And then Esty is doing a full stand-up routine in the middle of the live show, and she's so kooky, and she's like the crazy one.
She makes a
she's,
silly
like,
face
saying-
when she plays the bass.
She makes a silly face. She says something inappropriate.
I think I got it.
Okay.
Go.
Esty, relish, Alana mustard, Danielle ketchup.
Yep.
Yup. Damn. I think that's great.
I think there's an argument to be made that because mustard is such a more serious condiment, it could be the Danielle. But I think the ketchup's status as the classic American condiment makes it Danielle.
Yeah, I think so too. Because it's actually like Alana, when someone's like really likes mustard, they get to feel like a little bit unique. Like they're like, I actually
is so
really like
true.
mustard.
And mustard is definitely the most Paul Thomas Anderson of the three.
Of
Yeah,
course.
and being so like mustard only on the hot dog, like that is licorice pizza.
100%.
It's like, why does that hot dog not have ketchup? Because it's period realism.
Exactly. Yes. All right. Wow. I'm so glad I brought that up.
That was amazing.
But I will say now I am so intensely ready to get into the topic.
Yes. So Spike and Honey, what is the topic that you've brought to us today, and what makes it straight to you?
Okay. 1,
Okay.
2, 3.
Laws.
Whoa.
That's
Okay,
actually when
that's
you work from cause. Is,
Yeah,
is
it's
laws.
Is laws. Okay, the topic that we brought in this week is laws.
Laws.
It's
Okay,
laws.
the law.
The laws.
Law.
Laws are heterosexual because it's someone telling you what the fuck to do. Okay. Laws is the man. Okay. Laws is it's the default. You don't get to consent to the laws that you are a part of or that you have to live your life around. So it's classic straight culture and heterosexuality because you're following along to a system that you don't even know if you approve of. And it penalizes you, which is straight.
Yeah.
too.
Think about that. Being penalized, that's straight. You want to say, you're like, oh, that sounds gay. It's straight.
It's straight.
Consequences are straight. Okay.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Gay people hate consequences,
Yeah.
myself included, obviously.
I do.
Obviously.
I know it's early in the game, but I want to make a caveat, which is that rules are not laws. Those are
Agreed.
different things.
I like that because they're like a
And
little bit
rules
more of
are
a guide.
Rules are more queer.
Because rules is the guidelines of being in a polyamorous polycule. Like that's rules. That's not laws.
Rules is also like, laws are like carved into stone
right.
heterosexual, and rules are like tacked on the outside of a treehouse.
100%.
Right.
And they are chosen by consensus.
Yeah.
Everyone is having vegan
And people
stew.
Like-
change
yeah.
rules all the
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
I
Like-
have well, laws also really piss me off because like the way that people like don't understand the note behind the note when it comes to laws. Like people are like, oh, like if the like so this isn't a law, but like when it's like at a movie
let's
theater
start there.
when it's like it's not illegal to leave your cup there when the movie's over and like have the person clean it up. So people will leave their cup there to clean it up, and it's like
Yeah,
but
that's
you-
heterosexual.
yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you should still
you know
throw
what
it
a-
away.
Exactly.
And you know
Because
what
they
a
need a
rule
law
is?
in order to act.
They need a
right.
law
But a
to act
rule-
morally right, and it is
A
so
rule
crazy.
is leave no trace. Like
Exactly.
leave no trace.
Leave no trace is a rule.
That's a rule. And if you have leave no trace as a rule, that is gay, and you're acting as like you're turning everywhere into like a beautiful campsite. Like that when you just leave Wicked and you're taking other people's cups, that's you doing leave no trace, and you're queering the space.
Yeah,
No, you're absolutely right.
and I think that's great. I get so annoyed when people need laws to act correctly.
Yeah.
Like, what's that?
Because consequences are straight, but accountability is gay.
Oh
Yeah.
my God,
Wow.
genius. Yes.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like, and so that kind of goes back to this, you know, prayer circle element of accountability or rules that gay people really cling to. It's like you want to have, you know, you want to be summoning up
neo-tribalism.
the mountain to speak
Yeah.
to elder. And that's why gay people love Survivor so much.
Like this is going to be controversial, but God handed down commandments. And those were, yes, written in stone. And what were they directly in defiance of? People having an amazing time with a chic calf that was made of gold. So it's kind of like where, God, I think, was playing a joke.
Yeah.
And had all this punishment and torture for straight people and for the purpose of procreation. And then everyone who was doing like idol worship was kind of like, well, we have our own thing going that has rules. Like there weren't no rules.
Totally.
They just weren't the set in stone heterosexual laws.
I mean, can you imagine being such a buzzkill that you just like parachute down into the world and you're like, there are 10 laws now.
Yeah, like that's
It's like, first of all,
It's
get to
narc
know your community
behavior.
first. Like, get to know their
and
traditions.
one's honor thy father and mother. Like, shut
It's like,
the
excuse
hell
me,
up.
not all of us have a mother and father. I want to say
And
one
some of
other.
those are not
and
honorable people.
Exactly. A corollary of all this is operating in a way that follows laws is fear-based because you are afraid of consequences, to your point. You are afraid of punishment. You are afraid of going to prison. Operating in accordance to rules is all about communal care. And it's not, sometimes you might follow rules in a way that you're not going to get rewarded for. And if you break rules, you're not going to get punished. But you are operating on like a moral, based on a sense of morality.
Yeah.
And a sense of ethics. And an ethics of care.
Yes. I feel
Oh, please.
No, you go.
Well, I was going to list some of my least favorite laws.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was literally about to start there too.
Insider trading.
Right.
Just
it's like,
jaywalking, number one.
well, that recently now in New York is no longer illegal.
Really?
It's in LA.
Yes.
It's illegal as fuck.
So
what
I'm
I've
going to have to
heard.
look in left and right
Yeah.
but that's also the thing. It's like gay people are defiant. Obviously,
Yeah.
we put our hands up in the air. We fight for what's right. If why do I need to walk on these slotted horizontal stripes just to get across the street because a man told me to? That's
Yeah.
straight. I don't want to fucking do that anymore.
Who's the man that I'm listening to? The white man that's in the walk signal? This guy? I'm listening to that white man? No.
You mean the man
In the
that
White
Banksy
House?
is
Yeah.
popping as a balloon? I'm supposed to
Yes.
listen to the man that
Right,
Banksy's popping as a balloon.
Speeding should also just not be a
Yeah,
law.
it needs
like
to
that's
be Autobahn everywhere.
I think when I
Everywhere
was
is
a
the
child,
Autobahn.
I really liked the idea of laws. Like, I think I was like, this is awesome. And then as an adult, it really is like, oh, this is so not fake, but it's like I think about, like, you realize how many people are breaking laws at all times. And it's like, okay, then we need to stop having them. Like, we need to figure this out in a more
And of course,
reasonable way.
you're pointing to the kind of like current, dare I say, sorry to use this term, late capitalist issue with laws, is that we are in a place where if you have power, you don't have to follow the laws.
Yes.
So there's the problems with laws, as written, and then there's problems with the general legal system where, guess what, if you're Jeff Bezos, you don't have to pay taxes, which is something that is by law, something all of us have to do as independent contractors.
Well, even like drug use is like, if you're
Totally.
rich, it's fine. If you're poor, it's horrible. It
Yes,
like,
if you're white, it's fine.
Yeah.
If you're not white, it's bad.
yeah. And like, it is so, I know we're like not saying anything groundbreaking and that everyone already agrees with us and knows this, but it is sort of like, how come that hasn't been changed yet? I don't understand.
Well, another fun thing about laws is then when you break them, you get to be a criminal.
Yeah.
And what's amazing is gay criminals.
That's
Donald
true.
Trump.
Yeah.
The gayest, most criminal of them all.
You know,
Yeah.
when Eileen Wuornos,
And
a
Eileen
gay
Wuornos.
criminal,
Gay
then becomes a
Luigi
gay icon.
Mangione.
Bisexual
Yes,
criminal.
Bisexual
absolutely.
criminal.
So
You know.
that's fun too. You know, when gay people have had enough, then you get to have a little dog day afternoon
Yes.
moment.
Absolutely.
And it's like, I'm going to, realign my life as mine and define the laws for me, finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally.
Living your queer truth out loud, if you will.
And that's exactly what Eileen Wuornos did.
Exactly.
true.
She did nothing wrong.
She did nothing wrong. Any of us would have done that in her situation.
Any of us.
Yeah.
It's called
No, I
living out
agree with you
loud.
completely. So maybe you can try it. Laws that I've personally had to come up across in my day. Obviously, not paying the MTA fine, the fare,
Oh.
jumping over a
Fair
turnstile.
beating.
Yeah, nothing could be like, nothing is more heterosexual than forcing me to give you money for something that doesn't work. It's like gay services work, okay?
Yeah.
That's like, you trust a gay guy to cut your hair because that shit's going to work. A gay tailor works. You know what I mean?
That's true. There's an
we
intuition.
trust homosexuals.
Yeah.
To get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Similarly, stealing. Like that was never mine. It was never theirs.
Sure.
Like it's a communal aspect. Like like think about how Robin Hood was dressed. That's very gay.
We've
Yeah,
really
talk about
lost
someone
the
with a gay
thread
tailor.
on stealing, I feel. Where
No, I agree with you.
I'm like, I get so...
I used to go into an American Apparel and I was like, all this shit is mine
Yeah, I was like,
right now.
let me
This
get
is
a rack of disco
our...
pants size 24 to 29 because it didn't go above 29. And
essentially,
walk out of there a free man.
essentially every store is CVS. So I'm like, well, no one... This is literally a victimless crime, stealing from any store now. Like, it's not like any store is like, oh, this is a mom and pop. Like, they've had this little general store and they make their own butter. Like, no, it's all CVS. I don't
By the way,
understand.
speaking of CVS, you know what is the biggest failure of public policy is the way things are locked in CVS currently.
I
And I
agree
would
with
say
you.
that is like, it's like
That
if you
is laws personified.
Exactly.
That is
That's
laws.
I was about to say, it's like if you take the ethos of laws to its natural conclusion, here's what you get: a store where it is quite literally impossible to buy anything.
Yeah, and the
because
items-
everything is locked and there's no one there to get it.
The items have already done something to land themselves in jail.
Exactly, yes.
And like now the people working, like each store is a mega prison with like the clerks are wardens, freeing the deodorant from its sentence.
Oh
to
my
me.
God.
And it's devastating because now I worry that we're about to enter an era where you can't even run an errand anymore. It's like, that's what's so devastating. It's like going to CVS used to be so fab. Like, you know, walking to CVS, hearing the Foo Fighters, you know, blaring so
Yeah.
loud.
Yes.
It's like, you know, and just being able to kind of like meander through the lines and then pick up what you wanted.
And then you
but
kind
now,
of like open a Monster and you just sort of drink it while you're there, and then it ends up in the trash and you don't have to pay for it. Like,
exactly.
that was
But
how it
now
was.
I need to have like 5 friends sign a petition for me to like buy my Neutrogena face wash.
Literally.
I have to like share a fucking GoFundMe for my toothpaste to be able to like liberate it like a prisoner. And then you press the button, you press the little button, and it echoes over the hollowed halls and just kind of like chronically as you pray for a worker to come
Well,
and
it's
evacuate
yeah,
what
you press the
need.
button and suddenly there's an announcement to the whole block that's like, gay guy needs his moisturizer.
It's also like you become
exactly.
like pressing the button is entering into the consumer consent of like being on blast. It's like there's no more browsing. Browsing very gay. Just looking is gay.
Cruising.
But you're cruising.
You're cruising for
entering
deodorant.
the space.
Exactly.
You could find what you want. You could not. You could leave with something that no one knows that you left with. That's sexy to take away and under no one is aware. Now you press the button. You're like, I'm a consumer. Come to me. Help me to enter into this thing where the laws are. I press
right.
the button to buy.
You press the button and it's like trans guy needs monostat. It's like now everybody fucking
It's also
knows
like
that. Like
the only action you are legally permitted to do is purchase. Because guess what? What if I want to just check a bottle and see if it has microplastics in it?
Or
that doesn't mean I have to buy it. It's there for my perusal.
Exactly.
I'm not going to press. It would be humiliating if I press a button. Someone who is being paid -2 cents an hour got it for me just for me to be like, never mind.
Never mind.
I would hate myself.
This is like making me
that's
actually
gay.
so upset because walking and going to buy a little thing is like one of the few joys we have in this world. And like, I fucking like hate having to like online subscribe to toilet paper. It's like, what are you talking about?
And then
subscription services.
This
that's
is the other
also
thing.
straight.
Yes.
Like, okay, this is the other thing that every item is in prison, but also every item now has a voice that they talk to you with. Like every item's like, hi, I'm Winky, the new razor that like, it's like, no, I don't want to hear, you should be silent in my inner pocket or up my sleeve, like a big piece of cheese from Whole Foods that no one will miss that I took. Like, I don't want you to have this agency that's like, that's why you're in the cage, because you started talking.
Yeah.
They're making these items have voices so we feel bad for liberating them, because now the Dyson is an item that I can meet. Like, meet the new Dyson. Like, I don't want to meet her. I want her to fall off the back of the truck, and then I take her into my house.
By the way, guess what? You think personifying products is going to make you have a more personal connection to them? It's actually doing the opposite. It's making them so similar to humans that then you're walking around looking at humans and you're like, well, that's basically as good as a detergent.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to respect my fellow man because he's basically just a detergent.
He's Harry's razor.
He's Harry's razors.
And I don't give a fuck about him.
I don't.
I'm muting him.
Next thing you know, there's
skipping
murder
him.
on the street. So much for thou shalt not kill.
No.
So much for that.
Thanks, Harry's.
Jesus Christ,
And
Harry's.
if you were ever a sponsor of this podcast, you can see yourself out. You get a call the next morning.
get a call
All
from
the
him.
investors have dropped. Your product ran. What are you doing?
You're losing us billions, I tell you. I'm trying to think if there's any laws I particularly dislike or like.
No shirt, no shoes, no service. That's insane.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's a flop.
This is interesting, what you just said, because that is technically a rule. It's not in the Constitution. However, the way that it's you know what I mean? Like,
I just like
Spike actually did not know that until right now.
I was like, that's in the Constitution. That's the 50th Amendment.
but I think the way that it's portrayed is making it hold much more. Listen, a sign that says live, laugh, love is just as legally binding as a sign that says no shirt, no shoes, no service. But somehow the latter has the gravity of law, whereas the former doesn't. You know why? Because of sexism, because the former is more feminine and the latter is more masculine.
Yeah, it's the font difference.
It's the font difference.
What about the signs that are like, in this house we believe? Are those as binding?
Now,
if
this
you
is
go
interesting.
into one of those houses and
It's like science is real, women are girl
but
boss.
I have an answer for that. I think what that is doing is appropriating the sort of rules that you guys were describing as queer. It's like a straight couple saw a documentary about communes in the 70s and then made that as an homage to rules.
It's the gray area of allyship,
Yes.
where you have straight allies and you have very desiring of assimilation gay people. Like, it's like the Ruth Conda gay people who put those signs on their lawn because they want to take rules out of our like gay subculture and make them towards laws and make them like heteropalpable. Like, those lawn signs are being like, because like we all know that like love is love.
Love is love.
And
Life
science
is
is real.
real. And
I don't need to put that on my lawn like a Trump sign to like make that an equal statement. Like,
I think
doing
it's
that is
also
towards law.
like-
Totally, you're so right. Yeah.
that's smart.
I think it's those very nervous liberals that like watched like An Inconvenient Truth and like live in Portland, Oregon, and like adopted a dog named like Twinkie or something, and you're like really stressed
and
out
they
all
have
the
to
time.
rehome him due to behavioral issues immediately. They're like,
exactly.
Twinkie has a bite record.
And like has to wear a diaper all the time, but it's like you're putting that sign in your lawn because you don't want your house to get looted when the grid goes down. I think it's also kind of this
Which is like,
security measure.
By the way, when you're gonna loot, you look for that sign, and you will be.
I
hitting
wouldn't,
the
because
jackpot.
those houses looting also should be legal. Another fucking botched law. It's like, that is a flop. I would never loot from the liberal house because they don't even have any good shit. They just have the Dyson that talks to you and like a Roomba that they both tried to have sex with.
No, what are you
It's
going
like,
to
I
loot?
don't
A
want
NutriBullet?
that.
Are
I
you
would
gonna-
know. They have a Vitamix. I really want.
Oh, they have a Vitamix. They do have a Vitamix.
Like, we
I
can.
guess I would loot the SCOBY mother, but like at that point, if it's like full apocalypto, it's like, what am I going to do with that?
Yeah, I feel
That's true.
I feel like I know Portland less than you, so I'm like deferring to you.
I'm looting framed museum posters.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Exactly. Well, then I guess like, well, what's the Portland equivalent to New York? Like Clinton Hill. It's like I would definitely loot that.
That's what I'm saying. And they would have that lawn sign. So I'd be like, I'm going in there.
No, I'm going in.
They would have
so many beautiful wide-legged canvas pants.
I mean, the vinyl collections, I bet, are to die for.
Yes, I'm getting a paperweight that looks like a nipple.
Yeah.
And it's randomly $10,000.
Yeah, I would get that.
A blanket that has boobs that are all different shapes and sizes to symbolize inclusivity.
Oh my God.
Oh, I love those.
If I never see one of those again, if I never see a tote with every kind of tit that could exist, it will be amazing.
Because the thing with like
guess what? My
body,
tits are never on there. So it's not true.
the thing with like millennial body positivity art is that it can only make you feel worse about yourself.
Totally.
Because it's like this really hideous illustrative style where like everyone just looks like they're like on their way to get their HPV vaccine.
Yeah.
Like it's so ugly and like it's like I don't understand why you want to. How can you make people feel better about themselves when you like desexualize them? It's like sex is what being sexy is what makes you feel good about yourself, not looking like you are like it's the weird flattening.
Here's what millennial inclusivity boils down to: the statement, "You are beautiful even if you're ugly." Like that is what you are being told.
Yeah.
And so then you're
Which
like,
is
wait, so am I ugly?
It's like, yes, you are.
And that's okay.
beautiful.
Like, wait, no, but I thought I was fine. You're beautiful even though you're ugly.
It's like, no shit, actually.
It's like you are beautiful even though like one of your boobs looks like a dog ear and the other one got like blown off by a shotgun. It's like you're so beautiful still.
It's also like
what?
And it's the same way where they like reduce. It's very laws to be like, okay, you can put tits on a tote bag if they're all two-dimensional line drawings. It's like you can do a vulva if it's parentheses with an apostrophe in it to like illustrate that we're all like unique and different. It's like you're actually homogenizing it in this way that's very like Oscar healthcare city bike 100%. Drawings.
You're de-eroticizing it and you're actually further stigmatizing real genitals.
Yeah. Which my shit looks like it went through a wood chipper, and that's why ugly is beautiful. Frankly,
I am ready for the penis version of the canvas tote bag.
Yeah,
it's like I am ready, and it's just like a bunch of U's and like some grape nuts. Like when's that?
The version that is acceptable is like fruit that's kind of phallic. It's like, no, we're not doing that. Like I need the like Ratfink R. Crumb SpongeBob zoom in Ren and Stimpy
medical
medical
photographs.
I would love that, Spike.
A grid of medical photographs. Get this, a set of coasters. Each of them has a different medical photograph of a misshapen penis. And that is literally sold at a Clinton Hill pottery store.
Yes. And each
the way
coaster
that I
is like
just want
the
that.
degrees that it's curved. What if you just want
see, but that's the thing. See, that's where it's hard because Sam was like, I want that.
I would want
that's why gay guys are so high vibrational and smart. Is because I could be in like a Clinton Hill pottery barn buying like $99 like sheep's milk yogurt. And then like I also want a pillow, yogurt that's a pillow. And then like I also want to buy the coaster of like a micro penis with like a sunburn on it. And then but then gay guys are like, that's hot. And that's why it's brilliant. It's like, unfortunately, like straight women need to look at whatever their bodies are and be like, that's hot. It's like all bodies are hot because having a body is hot.
Yeah. But they don't want it to even be hot on the tote bag with all the tits. It's like they want it to be like, the law is like, you must accept this. Like we've gone underneath like censorship, like what would be censored, which is actually something hot. Like if it was like, if I was walking around the tote bag with a full blue waffle on it, like that would be hot.
Yeah,
and
that would be hot.
Any listener of this podcast. But like because it's the little drawings, that's law abiding and that's straight.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to talk about a gift that I just got Honey, which is an amazing calendar.
Honey, I was going to ask you about this calendar. Is this the beef calendar?
No, it's the Colt calendar.
Oh.
And it's from the year 1986 because it has the same dates as 2025.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
amazing.
such a
that's
good
so
gift.
smart.
And he can use the calendar. But it has
And
it
I've been
has
using the
full
calendar.
hole,
Wait, so
full
what?
taint.
I see.
Like
Full hole,
it's-
full taint.
each picture is like an amazing. It's like a like a guy like just fully spreading in chaps, and it's
It's
like
awesome
yeah.
gooch.
It's
It's
awesome
really
gooch.
gooch forward.
Wow.
But that's not what could be on a tote bag. And
No,
that's
you
what's
could never put that on
No,
a tote
I
bag.
need a tote bag that's like
Gooch.
6-inch uncut, but the penis has been run over by a car. I want like tire marks on that shit.
Tire marks.
Ren and Stimpy
something that would
flattened
make
tire marks.
the Kava girl who takes pictures of roadkill freak out.
Oh, yes, that's
my
right.
God,
She
I'm
thinks
addicted to punching the mic.
the Kava girl.
Can't stop.
Kava girl thinks she's alt. I'd
And
like
then
to
she
see
sees
her.
the penis run
she
over
sees
by
the penis run over by a truck.
by a truck, and
like,
she's like, "Actually, I'm not bi. I'm straight."
yes, she's literally like, I'm going to church. This was fun while it lasted, but at 23, my alt period is over.
Yeah.
My apartment,
No.
my decor is slowly turning exclusively into like misshapen dicks, like
That's
photorealistic.
David Cronenberg up
Yeah.
in here, like full phalloplasties.
I love it. I can't get enough of this stuff because I got a calendar with also like burly men spreading it. That's really similar to the one that you have, honey.
That's what's up.
And I love
It's
it.
awesome. And that's
Maybe that's
gay.
what needs to
And
be done.
that's
It's
gay,
like
and that's rules.
you have to take millennial sort of mid like 2010s millennial post-Obama inclusivity and give it a Cronenbergian twist. Like I want Cronenberg to do a reno of every candle and pottery store in Brooklyn and Silver Lake. And then we can elect someone in 4 years that
Yeah.
can, potentially pass universal health care.
That will be the path towards it.
It starts with one.
When it's like all the like candles that are shaped like an ass actually are like pouring
Yes.
like rancid diarrhea.
They're literally
in
just like
wax form.
bubbling
Yeah.
out of the hole. Yeah.
That's perfect.
But it's like I know it's funny thinking about like post Obama. I feel like I'm doing a George impression when I'm like, it's actually funny when you think of. I'm like,
Yeah, rather than telling a joke, it's me just being like, it's actually funny if. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm on StraightioLab. I'm talking like George. Well, it's actually funny when you think of like, well, then like, what is the post Trump Biden art, but then also what is like Trump art, which I guess is just AI. Like
it is.
Trump
And
art
it's
is
also
AI.
NFTs.
Trump art is
Trump
AI.
art is AI.
it's
Trump
NFTs.
Trump art is like Elon and Trump are both like 9
Making out
foot
in
tall
bikinis.
sumo wrestlers.
Yeah.
And they're both like taking a bite out of the Eiffel Tower. Or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like-
also literally like clips of Theo Von's podcast. Like
Yeah.
that is art. That is Trump era art.
That is
an
art.
Instagram reel of Theo Von in conversation with Tucker Carlson. I actually saw a video recently where Tucker Carlson says the word nonpartisan, and then Theo Von goes, "What do you even mean by that?" And then Tucker Carlson is like trying to describe it in context, but then it becomes clear quickly that Theo Von just does not know the word nonpartisan. And he's like, yeah, but like, what does it mean? And so then it just becomes this thing where Tucker Carlson is explaining literally what the word partisan means to Theo Von. That's Trump era art.
That's Trump era art. I've seen this clip. It's rough.
The AI aspect of Trump era art is also like being able to make those videos where it's like Obama's dancing and then turning into Shakira and
Yes.
then becoming Jennifer
Yes.
Aniston. Like that's like what we have now. And I think that the Obama era art was also pop art. Like I think it was very like Obama like picture
The hope. Yeah,
like
of
that
course,
that's
of course.
pop art, and like that's what we had. And then the Joe Biden thing is kind of like retirement home paintings, like just like faded dust collecting on the wall, like like dry paper whispering in the wind. And now we're in this full like as Honey likes to say, deep fried AI era.
Yeah.
Where like it's a repost of a repost so that the quality is going down, and it's like people transforming.
And it's also those videos where it's like a split screen and like one half of the video is like hands sanding a table.
Or like
But
speed
then-
running a video
And
game.
it's like an AI voice, like when the girl checked her phone, there was a text message coming from her
Exactly.
boyfriend, and she was in the car going fast to the grocery store.
Totally.
It said, "Come home, baby," and then there's just like someone cutting cucumber really
But
fast.
exactly.
Split screen.
I can't stop thinking about. I saw something and I can't tell what to think about it. Where it's like people are, there are now like AI accounts, and they're like,
Oh my
and
God.
like people like Twitter and Meta and are like making AI accounts to engage engage more with real accounts, but it's like becoming this thing where it's eventually just going to be AI accounts interacting with each other, and it's just going to be like mostly fake. Like, what do we do with that?
I mean, they're probably going to have a podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, literally,
Like the AI accounts are probably, it's going to be like,
we have to have sex. Like, that's what you do. It's like, because AI, there's one thing that we can do that they can't do is have sex. We just have to make sure that we're having sex.
With each other and not with AI.
And not with
Because that is, don't do that.
Don't do that.
You guys
wow,
want to
new
do that.
law alert.
New law.
That's a rule. That's a rule.
A recommendation.
Rule.
It's a recommendation. That's all it is.
So then there we go. So
You are punching the mic.
So it used to be that sex positivity was a response to like Christian
Like
Puritanism.
Yeah.
But now sex positivity is vital as a response to AI hegemony.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
Like techno dystopian fascism.
No algorithm robot could create something that could fully penetrate my completely destroyed situation there that is only created by God and in such a way that it's like the goddess of creation and destruction at once are my genitals.
I see.
That's amazing.
And no amount of, if you had a computer work for 86 billion years, it could not come up with the thing to fit inside there. And that's what's beautiful about human to human sex and sexuality.
That's true.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, back to laws. I have a question. What do you think
I was just talking about laws, but okay. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the topic.
But back to the
back to the real topic. Okay, police or lawyers? Which one is straighter?
Oh, this is a really good
Police.
question.
It's hard because there's no gay fetish dress up as lawyers.
But here, okay, so
You can't like fetishize like
You could
going and being
fetishize like French lawyers, like Anatomy of the
wigs?
Fall, the
Yeah,
wigs,
the
and like the
wigs.
little
No.
dress. You could fetishize that.
that doesn't.
here's my instinct is to say lawyers are straighter, and I'm trying to figure out why. Here's why.
Arguing?
I think yes. Well, I also
arguing
think
is gay.
lawyers suit bland, ill-fit.
But there's people who go to the courtroom like looking.
That's true, but then
Remember
you're thinking
Joker when he represented himself?
like,
Remember Joker
overhead
2?
lighting, whatever. Police, say what you want about the politics of policing. They are wearing sort of campy, draggy costumes.
That's why it gets towards being like gay
Yeah.
fetishized.
Yeah, like it's fetish wear, and also, frankly, so often, when they are in repose, they're literally like playing Candy Crush on their phone, and there's something actually very sort of like barista who is being rude to the customers about.
No, that's girly coded for sure.
I feel though like because they have to uphold the law, they're straighter, and then lawyers are more gay because they're like fighting and tweaking and going in and.
I see.
That's true. There's some
To
creativity
me,
among
though, it's like the
lawyerdom.
fruit ninja of, off time of being a cop is straight because there just is this like drooling kind of like dunce quality to police officers where they're like always kind of like slack jawed and like slow, and there's just like that to me is straight. But like when I think of a lawyer, I think about all my gay lawyer friends who like are gay lawyers, had to go to gay lawyer school, and
they're like helping us be allowed to steal, basically.
Totally.
Yes.
Gay lawyer.
Totally. No, that's
there is such
gay-
a rich tradition of gay lawyers.
Right.
That's a great
I mean,
point.
the ACLU is basically just like a food co-op.
Saying, "May I approach the bench?" Like
Yeah.
that's gay.
So lawyerdom is sort
Right,
of like
exactly.
wizards
So it's
in
literally
that
like
there's
daddy.
good and
And
bad.
hands behind your back is straight. Wait, what, Sam?
So lawyers are kind of like wizards in that they have power, but it's good or bad, and they have to go to lawyer school
Yep.
and solve crimes.
So like
while
an
at it.
owl kind of comes to their window, right?
Right.
Also-
Lawyers are Gryffindor and cops are Slytherin.
Cops are Voldemort. If we're gonna
Cops are Voldemort.
Cops are muggles.
Stop.
Sorry, we have to stop.
I can't. I'm really mad that I just said cops are Voldemort.
And you know what? I was like, I'm not going to bring it up again, but then you said owl, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I have permission.
Sam
I
started
brought it
it.
up. I brought it up. I
Sam
started it.
brought it up. And I'm being Sam right now on the podcast by saying Sam started it.
Well, Well,
I think courtroom dramas are also gay.
100%.
Yeah, it's
and-
theater.
And so that's lawyer. Another,
Like, judge
Whereas I think
Judy.
procedurals are
Oh,
straight.
straight, yeah.
I agree.
Procedurals are
like-
straight. Courtroom dramas are gay.
Courtroom drama is like Judge Judy presiding over like a fight that's literally fake, that's like played up for drama. And procedurals are like somebody really needing to protect their daughter, which
100%.
is straight.
Yeah. And there's a way in which, with a procedural, the law prevails, whereas with a courtroom drama, it's more like a sort of family play. It's August Osage County. There are people
Yeah.
yelling about, like, there's not a clearly
There's
defined
an audience, so it's literally
Yes,
theater, which
it's
is
literally
gay.
theater. It's a black box theater, and they're doing an all women and femmes
Yes.
version of King Lear.
Well, in that moment when the evidence drops, like, and you like reveal a nasty photo of like the
Yeah.
scene, and you're like, oh,
Exhibit A.
yes, God, I would kill for that moment.
And there's
Well, the
so
idea of
many
Exhibit A is
Ryan
so
Murphy,
Yeah.
like crime. It's like, crime is, be gay, do crime, obviously throw up and cry. But, crime is also pretty gay.
Okay, wait. Be gay, do crimes, or throw up and cry.
Throw up and cry. Yeah.
Throw up and do crime.
And do crime.
Oh, interesting.
Vomit artist Lady Gaga on stage
Yes.
during Swine. Like, vomit as crime.
Love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
But then Law and Order SVU is straight.
It's straight.
Totally.
Totally.
People are desperate to make it gay. They're like,
And it's
Mariska
like-
Hargitay. It's like, shut
It's
up.
like she just is
Stop.
like she's like tough. It doesn't make her
Yes.
Yeah.
She's tough.
like she's not Foot. She's just like
No.
a tough woman.
I
She's a tough
agree.
woman.
Christopher Maloney is kind of straggedy, though.
That's
No,
true.
with
That's
that
true.
ass. Is,
Well, Chris
No.
Maloney in Oz. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about?
Yes.
Oh, I
mean,
quite.
it's like insane.
He's like
how
Stanley.
hot he is.
He's almost Stanley Tucci levels of
Yeah.
Straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's like in the calendar, basically.
I
He's in the
would
gay
die.
By the way,
He's like
Chris
spread
Maloney.
'em.
Chris Maloney's biggest dream is to just show full cock in
And
a
hole,
calendar.
and hole,
Like,
yes.
he is the horniest motherfucker out there.
Yeah.
And he's like an exhibitionist. Like, he wants to show up to your house with like a Burberry trench
He
coat.
wants to be like, did somebody he wants to be like, I'm here to investigate a crime dressed as a policeman, and then take it off because he's actually a stripper.
Literally, yeah.
Oh, that'd be
that's him.
amazing.
He's in the writer's room, like, so in what season do I show Hawk? Like,
Yeah.
when am I able to finally do
Maybe
that?
I'm tied to a chair and they need to expose Hogg to like blackmail me, like cyber
Yeah, maybe
blackmail me.
electrocute my nipples, but in a way that's pro justice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ice-T is not having it.
No.
No.
He shuts it down every
Ice-T is
time.
not having it. He's like, cut the funny business.
Yeah.
I'm here to work.
Ice-T.
And that's against the law.
Ice-T is such a beautiful American success story to me.
Yeah.
Like, every time I see him, I'm so happy. I'm like, you did it. Like, you're on Law
You
and
know
Order.
my relationship with him, right?
No.
No.
And he's like tweeting. It's like amazing.
And he has that hot wife who he's so in
Coco.
love with. Yeah.
And a daughter whose age has stayed the same for like 5 or 7 years.
Totally.
Perfect.
Okay,
Wait,
so
what's
my
your
relationship with Ice-T is that is that I was on one episode of his now canceled courtroom reality television show, The Mediator.
What?
Okay.
What were you doing there?
I was suing my friend.
Was it real?
It was an
Suing your friend is so gay.
exaggerated
I'm sorry, honey.
so gay.
So after all of this talk of laws and rules, you have not revealed that you were in a courtroom Judge Judy style show with Ice-T
It- right, 'cause
suing your
yes.
presumably queer apologies friend.
Yes. Yeah. And it I don't know, I
it was
had
subterfuge.
what'd you say?
It was full subterfuge, which makes it even more gay.
Yeah, exactly. I had someone send me the Craigslist ad and was like, you should do this because it seems funny. And I was like, okay. So me and my friend just kind of like concocted, we had like a real conflict that we exaggerated for the show. And then we all met on Skype during COVID. And he isn't a legal judge, but he can be a mediator. So he was able to kind of like preside over the conflict and give us some tips. And the conclusion that he came to is that my friend was just in love with me, and that's why her dog shat in my room.
Oh,
Wow.
That sounds pretty accurate.
Was he right?
Yeah.
It was fake,
he
so.
is never wrong. Whatever he says, I just
wasn't
allow to
real.
be
Well,
correct.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
okay. How? I feel like we're in final thoughts mode. Final thoughts about laws, rules, and the sexuality thereof.
Laws off my Oh, terrifying genitalia.
Actually, that's a great sign. Laws off my terrifying genitalia.
And like, I'm pro rules. Like, let's talk.
Yeah, I do want to say no running at the pool. Like, you're gonna slip and you're gonna fall.
You're gonna slip and you're gonna
hurt
fall.
yourself.
But there's no law against it, so just
And also don't go in the pool. Don't go in the pool if you have diarrhea.
Yeah.
Again,
That's a good rule.
that's a fuck around and find out type of rule. And when you enter into those spaces, there's like an implicit consent that like these are pool rules. They're not laws. Like no one's coming to like haul you away.
They will blow that little whistle.
Yeah.
There will be some public shaming, but blow the whistle.
Okay, my final thought is no laws, just the bumper stickers that say grass, gas, or ass.
Yeah.
Nobody rides free.
Love that.
Period.
Yeah.
Love that.
Wow. All right.
That's my constitution.
Well,
Ash, grass,
also
or ass.
before we go and before we do our final segment, you're going on tour. Please
Oh yeah.
tell everyone where you are going.
Yes, please.
Well,
And
we're
when?
going to Chicago on January 17th. We're going to the City on Fire which is LA, on the 19th. We'll see what happens. And then we're going to San Francisco on the 24th for Sketchfest. Am I forgetting?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
No,
and
that's everything. Oh, we had the kickoff show on the 15th.
Come on, everybody. Late
Mm-hmm.
show because the first show sold out. So when is this going to come out?
It's coming out on Tuesday.
So that's perfect.
Okay, so if you're
perfect.
hearing this, buy tickets to our show tomorrow in New York City. And if you're anywhere else, break some laws.
And tickets can be found
In
Link in bio.
Link bio for
bio.
both of us.
Great.
It's a dice situation.
And there's going to be some tagging. You're going to be able to find that link in
Yes.
bio, folks.
You will.
folks.
But yeah, just break one law today.
Yeah, break
I
a law.
encourage you to
One
do it.
law. Whatever.
And write about
bad.
it. Like write about it in a letter. We need to get offline.
Show up to Spike and Honey show without a ticket and then beat up the guy at the door and just walk in.
Yeah. I was thinking a different law, but okay.
Definitely.
Well, ticket buying is more of a rule than a law, but
Yeah, that's a rule.
That's true.
Because there's always list, but
Totally. Wow. Okay. Well,
incredible.
I think it's time for our
Should we
final
do our
segment.
Let's do it.
Our final segment is called Shoutouts. And in this segment, we pay homage to the classic straight oral tradition even, of the radio shoutout. You're on Z100, you're on TRL, shouting out something that you just cannot get enough of. And as is tradition, we make them up on the spot. Sam, do you have one?
I actually do have one.
Go for it.
What's up, freaks, losers, and sexual perverts around the globe? I want to give a huge shout out to George Michael's father figure.
Yeah.
I love this song, and I saw Baby Girl much like many of my peers in the LGBTQ plus community. And while I thought it was not very good, shout out to the film, it did remind me that Father Figure by George Michael is a really good song. And I can't stop listening to it. It's always stuck in my head. And it's that thing of like, I know that people have been like, actually, like George Michael's actually really, really good. And I've been like, yeah, whatever. And now I'm like, damn, this shit hits. It's sort of like, not to be a bitch, not to pit gay men against each other, but it's kind of Troye Sivan found dead in a ditch. There's something about like where it's like, oh, he's been like nasty and horny forever. We're treating like gay pop like it's a whole new thing. And it's like, no, sweetie, it's been happening forever. And I'm finding it so comforting. I'm finding it so catchy, and I'm finding it so fun. And it makes me feel like it's time to look back and experience new past. Shout out to George Michael. Shout out to Father Figure. Put my tiny hand in yours, Daddy. XOXO, Sam. Woo!
Okay, I can go. I'll do a movie one too. We're in letterbox mode today. Okay, folks. I want to give a shout out to the actor Channing Tatum. You know, he's easy to overlook because you're sort of like, oh, right, you like used to be a stripper and Magic Mike and you're sort of a meathead. I think he's one of the most interesting actors in Hollywood right now. I recently watched Logan Lucky, which I hadn't seen before. Absolutely stunning performance. I watched the Zoe Kravitz film Blink twice. Terrible movie. Great work from Channing. I think he has as he's aged into this very fascinating look that is like meathead meets like just like a neck that is a person. And he's very much like a character actor trapped in a leading man's body, trapped in a plumber's body. And I think that there's a lot of talk about like Hollywood doesn't have interesting faces anymore. And I feel like people talk about Adrian Brody being someone who has an interesting face. It's like, you don't have to be skinny like Adrian Brody to have an interesting face. You can be sort of meathead looking like Channing Tatum and have an interesting face. And so I just think we need to do a little more with him. And I'm very impressed with his work. I think he's so talented. And I am going to name my son Channing in his honor. Shout out to Channing Tatum.
George, I have to. Did you see Deadpool and Wolverine?
No.
Because Channing Tatum gives a comedic performance that is genuinely so funny in such a subtle, weird way where you're like, damn, he's really got it.
He is one of our great geniuses.
Yeah. He's one of our most geniuses. Okay, Spike or Honey, I'm not going to say who should go first. Decide amongst yourselves.
I'll go first. Okay, shout out to Oud. Shout out to Oud, the fragrance note.
Oh.
O-U-D. I've been, developing my signature scent. I've been walking through the journey of how I want to hit people's noses when I enter a room. So shout out to Oud because it's masculine. It kind of smells like poop. It's kind of awesome to smell a little fecal. When you realize that there's actually an entire world of dominance, power, and magic that can be available to you if you remind people of anal sex anytime you kind of enter into a space with them. That is what empires have been built and then crumbled upon. Yeah. So I think it's important to really remember that is there. So shout out to Oud and smelling a little bit like woody poop.
Wow, this is genius. And I also want to say, I've actually shouted out this on the podcast before, but so my friend and past guest of the podcast, Tammy Teklemariam, once wrote, she's a food writer, and she once wrote a piece about which wine to pair with eating ass. Mm-hmm. And she described the taste of ass as gamey, which I had never considered before and is so obvious. And since then, I've been like, this is such a gastronomical experience. And you're absolutely right, honey, that like we can re-eroticize fecality.
Yeah.
We just have to try.
And I also think that if we want to,
that's like so true.
What
there was sodomy laws because they wanted to take away the gamey flavor,
the power
of eating ass,
the raw power.
Yes,
yeah.
And to all be good anti-fascists, we need to make sure that sodomy and being good sodomites are ours. Yeah. That we, define that for ourselves. That it isn't just taken by the pederastic lords that haunt us.
Yeah, nobody talks about how like everyone's like Sodom and Gomorrah, like whatever. It's like they had amazing art scenes in those cities. Totally. Like, no one talks about that.
No, exactly. They were turning up.
Yeah.
Okay, Spike.
What's up, everybody out there in Tinseltown? I want to give a shout out to my birthplace, Los Angeles. I know what you are thinking when you look at me. That guy's from LA. People often tell me all the time, you don't seem like you're from LA. What does that mean? It means that the popular opinion of someone from LA is that they suck. That's not all the way completely true. That's only a little true. And it's not true in this case. I love Los Angeles. It is one of the most iconic places in the world. There is no place like it. I love New York, but Los Angeles is a cultural epicenter. It made our imaginations what they are. And I just love it so much. And the next time you think I don't seem like I'm from LA, it's because you are saying that I seem Jewish, which you equate with being in New York.
Wow.
And quick last shout out to Blood Smells Good, Tastes Good.
Wow.
Love it.
Wow.
Blood
there you go.
Yeah.
Vampire
Blood and Poop, baby. See us on tour. The Blood and Poop tour.
The Blood and Poop
The
tour.
Blood and Poop tour is honey, I can't believe we fucking talked
why
about
did
it
you name it
again
Blood
on
and
the
Poop tour?
podcast. I'm so upset that we're talking about poop.
Also, like graphic design wise, they both have two O's. You could so easily do a sort
Blood
of like fun Blood and Poop logo.
That's true.
Yeah.
Also, Spike, I do think people thinking you're not from LA shows like a misunderstanding. Like people don't know what LA is.
This
like it's
is
uneducated.
LA.
It is.
Yeah.
No, I am
incredibly haunted.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly like old and scary, and yet everybody wants a piece. People come there thinking they're going to find themselves. They realize just how lost they are, and they tremble in my wake. I am too powerful for them, and that is exactly why I'm like Los Angeles. And I'm also a fun surfer boy till my daddy took my T-bird away.
Well, see Spike and Honey on tour, and also we're going to be in San Francisco on the 17th of January for Sketchfest.
Sam's on the show,
And I'm on the show in LA on the 19th.
Yes. Day before the inauguration.
Oh my God,
Day before the inauguration. Damn.
All right, y'all.
Wow. Well, thanks so much. This has been a real treat.
Thanks so much for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Bye.
Love y'all.
you guys.
Love y'all.
Break some laws. Bye.
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 StraightioLab is a production by Will Ferrell's Big Money Players Network and iHeart Podcasts.
Created and hosted by George Civeris and Sam Taggart.
Executive produced by Will Ferrell, Han Sani, and Olivia Aguilar.
Co-produced by Bei Wang.
Edited and engineered by Adam Avalos.
Artwork by Michael Fales and Matt Grubb.
Theme music by Ben Kling.